we are at the moment in a cycle of life where everybody, if you're just a little bit aware, you can feel something is shifting. Some people are not willing to maybe adapt to the change. Some people are not strong enough to adapt to the change. Some people don't know how to put it into practice in order to go with the change. It is my perspective. There will come the time, and it's not going to take long, where a natural separation is going to take place, a natural separation. The ones that are able to read the signs, that are able to go with what is happening, to adapt to the changes this world is bringing to us, they will move on to another world. They will move on to another area, to another cycle of us humans being right now here on the earth. And other people that are unwilling, unable, maybe incapable of adapting to the coming changes. It is simple like this. They will stay with the old world, which is about to end. That's the message. That's all what this is about.
From the east, house of light, may wisdom dawn in us, so we may see all things in clarity. From the north, house of night, may wisdom ripen in us, so we may see all from within. From the west, house of transformation, may wisdom be transformed into right action, so we may do what must be done. From the south, house of the eternal sun, may right action reap the harvest, so we may enjoy the fruits of planetary being. From above, house of heaven, where star people and ancestors gather, may their blessings come to us now. From below, house of earth, may the heartbeat of her crystal core bless us with harmonies to end all war. From the center, galactic source, which is everywhere at once, may everything be known as the light of mutual love. Ayum hunabku, evam maya e maho. Ayum hunabku, evam maya e maho. Ayum hunabku, evam maya e maho.
Just different. I am the world changer, coded by the blue storm. My number is 19, the power of all number. I am the master alchemist, the force behind the philosopher's stone. Skilled at the art of transmutation. I am the catalytic transformer of world consciousness and planetary living. I oversee the changes of the weather. I am the thunder that shatters your world systems. I am the transport of clouds filled with lightning to illuminate the truth behind your illusions. I am the bringer of the drenching rains that purifies, fies. It was I who caused the triple Aztec monuments of the Avatar archetype to appear in the ancient temple grounds. I oversee the morning and the evening stars. I behold the creator of the fifth sun, the present world. Sent forth am I to dwell among you, calling forth the sixth sun. For the great regeneration of the world's soul, to know me is to know your own power of self-generation. To know me is to know your own power of self-generation. Self-generation is power. I am the transport of clouds filled with lightning to illuminate the truth behind your illusions. I am the bringer of the drenching rains that purifies, fies.
All right. In Lakesh Alakin, welcome to another segment of Sync Talk, Synchronicity Talk. And what's that all about? Well, we decided to have a session where we can talk about synchronicities that help us advance our consciousness. And this is largely in part spoken about because many of us, as we go through our daily lives, we end up dealing with a lot of programming, a lot of subliminal programming, a lot of overt programming. And this is what the time as money paradigm offers. But a lot of these structures are crumbling. And so it requires us to be able to follow something that never changes. And do you know the power of synchronicity that gives nature its power never changes? It's patterns. All it's designed to be and do is to be the engine that keeps the cosmos and its universes and galaxies evolving. And what I have found is that when we adopt that same principle, our experience in this human body on this planet does the same, regardless of what's happening with world systems. So I'm very excited to be here today. I am Neb Taharka Kanish Kawak, and I'm here to talk to you about being able to activate in the power of timelessness. Now, time from the perspective that we teach at the Synchronistic Human School of Enlightenment is the evolution of consciousness. Now, those of you that are listening, no matter what platform you're listening on, I got a question for you. Does it make sense to evolve? Does it make sense for you at this stage of your life, if you're not where you want to be in a multitude of areas? Could evolution possibly be a solution to your problems? Well, after this session, I can promise you that you'll see the value of evolving. It's just a matter if you want to choose it. All right. And when this is over, I definitely want to connect with those of you. I am looking for a handful of people that want to, I call them synchrononauts. They want to evolve because we are truly moving from the information age of our experience and existence, as you've seen in the shift video. It's deeper than that even, into the telepathic age of our experience. And so my study over the last 8 years have been how to effectively do that, how to help people create a transitional plan where they're able to evolve and be more intelligent and be more telepathic, and that can enhance their life. All right. And so there's a handful of you out there that are going to be looking at this for the first time, and you're going to say, you know, that just makes a whole lot of sense. It's simple. And I really think if I'm shown the right way, I can do it. And if you answer that to this, I want you to join in with us in this process, and let's all evolve together. Ashe? Ashe. And Ashe. So let's get into it. Who are we? We are a progressive group of cosmic beings that are highly intelligent, intuitive, and telepathic, and laser beam focused on evolution throughout the journey of remembrance to fulfill our galactic purpose on Earth. The journey of remembrance. That's an interesting phrase. Let me tell you why it's there. Scientists say that we have over 100 million years of memory stored in the back of our brain. And then some other studies saying that we could be potentially not even using 100 years of our own organic memory intentionally. What are we using memory of? Devices, programs, right? So in this journey, and this is what we orchestrate, what God initiates, God orchestrates. And what we are orchestrating here is the remembrance of all of this memory and the states of consciousness and who we are in totality, and how we can be the most dynamic being in this body, the dynamic version of God, right? Operate as the highest expression of ourselves while in the body, and watch the change that effectuates on the planet as it relates to your purpose. That's a powerful statement. Imagine if that can really happen for you. All right. So we have an online school. It's based in Atlanta, Georgia. We're based in Atlanta, but the school is online. We founded July of 2023. Myself as the founder and chancellor. We're accepting students worldwide. One of the reasons why we went to online is so that we didn't have to worry about time zones and different countries that people were tapping into to have to be on the exact same hour that we're on. All right. And so we currently have 12 courses. And let me tell you something. The law of time and its relationship to nature is so important, that how nature works on our behold, just like it does the grass, just like it does the trees, just like it does the animals. That piece right there is what we need, because we become so mechanized and so technical. I was talking to someone today, and so we have become, it's always a version, right, in the marketplace of high tech versus high touch. And so we become so high tech that we are out of touch with the human emotions and upside capability in terms of mind power. Okay. And we also have classes on whole mind concepts that help us improve our self-image and tap into a lot of our untapped psychic energy. So very powerful. And we're going to use these concepts to help build economic initiatives for small businesses so that they're able to focus and create their own economy as these other ones collapse. So some very powerful concepts and projects that are coming in. Watch this. The power of the evolved consciousness states if you correct your mind and your concept of time, the rest of your life will fall into place. All right. So we are truly shifting from the information age into the telepathic age of our existence. And so what does that look like? Well, that means that everything's going to speed up more. Everything's going to speed up faster. When that third eye, that all-seeing eye opens, we have surrendered to the greater vision of ourselves in terms of our capabilities of what we can do. And we surrendered to the unlimited power of God in us to help orchestrate and guide the way. All right. Who owns your time owns your mind. Change your concept of time and change your mind. Change your mind and you will change how you're projecting the experience that you're having in this world. All right. So with everything that's going on nowadays, right? We had the strike for the dock workers. We've had the conflict be agitated and rise with Iran and Israel. As you can see, we had the chemical plant here in Atlanta that exploded. It caused a lot of air quality concerns. We have the flooding that took place for Hurricane Helene or Helen, or whatever you want to say. And then we had this solar eclipse, and there's so many more things that are happening, right? Some are distractions and some are signs and some are both. Then we have this presidential election coming up. And so all of these are programs to distract you from figuring out how to access that 100 million years of memory so your mind doesn't have to be one of the minds that's being governed by this presidential race. And with all the things that are going on, what is your plan to keep your consciousness stable? You know what? I've been watching on a lot on social media and hearing a lot of advertisements. And you know, one of the things that is truly on the rise, and we can see it more than ever, right, is mental health. There are some tremendous breakdowns right now in mental health. It is becoming an epidemic because people are not sure when they follow these programs that they're supposed to follow to get rewarded. Those programs are not working out the way that they think so. the program of marriage is not working out the way they say so, right? And so now it's like, well, what do I do? So once the mental breaks down, the emotional instability breaks down. The emotional intelligence becomes almost non-existent. So we have an emotional deficit, and we have a lot of discrepancies in the mental disposition of those individuals. Now I'm talking about working class people are on edge. So what do we do? Keep on pushing the envelope, and we're going to keep on going on this path, even though we know that it's not going to work out the way we think. But it's all that we know. I'm telling you, I have a solution for you tonight, and you have to activate yourself in the never-ending cycles of evolving your consciousness. Evolution is truly the solution, because there are states of consciousness that you reach that you're not available for these activities. You're just not. And you develop the consciousness to have power over it. But what the programs do is the programs keep you limited. It keeps you focused on the superficial. And then when the superficial breaks down, then we go crazy. All right. So now we need a different kind of solution that's ever been presented to us. And this whole activating timelessness, this whole law of time and understanding the power of your whole mind is the key to your salvation. It's the key to you advancing. And it's not something that you want to wait on, because when you're operating with all your faculties, everything else becomes easier. Everything that took longer takes shorter stints. Okay, so it's a no-brainer to evolve. And there's no limit to how much you can evolve. The 100+ million years of memory, it says plus is a sign of infinitum. That plus is going to be determined by you. But guess what? 100 million years that each human is walking around the earth with on. Do you know the treasure chest that you're walking around with right now, that we're not even using a millionth of its potential? So that's where we need to invest our time, family. That's how we advance ourselves, and we are unbothered by all these different distractions. Not that we don't have compassion, but we have to put the mask on ourselves first and access all of our faculties so we can help the next person do the same. Right? That's right, Abu. Evolution is the solution. Okay? So I'm bringing these issues up because we just skirt over this stuff like it's just going to take care of itself. These individuals have a vested interest to control your mind, to build what they want you to build that's artificial for them, and destroy what's natural and what's spiritual for you to make your purpose complete. All right. So the solution is to evolve. And so we're on what we call on the 260-day calendar, we're on the 91st or 94th kin out of 260, and where we're activating in timelessness. Now, next time we come back and talk, we're going to be talking about producing a wise, influential being within ourselves. We can produce that in a child, or we can produce that with a team that we're working with. But we first got to be able to do it ourselves. All right, so let's get more into this activate into timelessness. Now, we use Olmec and Mayan cosmology as an evolutionary trajectory of the mind. One of the reasons why I love this, because it's incorruptible, because it's very coded. When I start talking, a lot of times people don't know what I'm talking about, but that's good because it's not for everybody. So there's some tools that we use to help start us on this trajectory. One is the 13 moon calendar. All right, it's a different calendar. It's based on the star Sirius, right? And it starts July 26th, and it helps to disrupt systemic programming. Because little do we know, the calendar, the Gregorian calendar that we follow, is one of the most subtle but vast programming agents that we could even think of. And it's so subtle, you won't even recognize it. Like they say with the Matrix, you can't see it, you can't smell it, you can't touch it, and you can't taste it. The next is the Law of Time Tzolk'in calendar. That's the 260-day calendar. Now, this is vital. This is something I wish people would take more serious. This calendar is the key to your spiritual evolution. Because let me tell you, a lot of people have an illusion of spiritually evolving, but they're not accessing more memory to access more consciousness so that they can actualize the evolution of spirit. So what it is they just get a concept of what it is to evolve the spirit, and they think they're living it until they come time to deal with difficult issues where the spirit should be able to help heal this situation and doesn't. So what happens is a lot of people have a false sense of success because to evolve spiritually, you also have to have the equivalent level of consciousness to help you actualize, right, what you're able to tap into as far as spirit. All right. So this evolves spiritually by accessing our cosmic memory. Through our cosmic memory, we access the consciousness, that higher levels of consciousness that help us change our reality from the consciousness that we're at right now. It is phenomenal to experience. And then there's the hollow mind perceiver. The H&P is 441 codes. We just crossed the threshold where the Gregorian calendar was 441 years. What could be a clearer sign that now it's time to access our ESP and telepathic abilities and experiences than now? This is the time to do it. 8 years ago, I didn't know back then what I know now, but I was excited because I knew this was the ticket. And now to have over 1,000 one-on-one coaching sessions with people how to integrate this, right? Now this is the 21st. We just on the verge of completing the 21st consecutive quarter and or semester of teaching this science. Now I can stand here and tell you this is the time to evolve. We've worked out a lot of the kinks, right? From moving from concept to actualization. Okay, so these are the tools that we're using to practice this evolutionary trajectory that's going to help us fulfill our purpose on Earth. And it is an exciting process. So let's talk about the first thing that we're using is the 13 moon 28-day calendar. All right. And this is where 13 times 28 is 364. And then there's 1 day at a time for 365. 1 day at a time, a day of culture and peace and for everything to reset. Did you know that the moon has 28 days that it takes to revolve around the Earth in its cycles? 28 days, a mean average of 28 days. And so we use that cycle as a way to tap in. We call it a lunar cycle, to tap into the light of consciousness and the energy that's moving around the Earth in a cycle to support us in what we want to unfold on the planet. So we're in the year of the blue rhythmic storm of self-generation. Now, self-generation is just another word for self-love or unconditional love for the self. Now, in this sense, who is the self? The self is the power of God or the power of the essence of God in us, and or both. We're in the electric dear moon of service. So this is the third 28-day cycle. We're in the third heptad or week where, watch this, patience transforms conduct. Patience is truly a virtue that everyone needs. Sometimes we get so ambitious, we don't even let the universe do its part and we fail, right? The question that this moon asks is, how can I best serve? How can I best serve? right? And how you best serve will in turn best serve you. Okay? The plasma, which is like a day, all right? We just switched the name from day to plasma because we're not in the days. Is Limi, which is in the 20th position and is connected to the solar plexus chakra, willpower. So it's not a matter if we can be telepathic, if we can access extrasensory perception. The question is, will we do it? It's a matter of will, not can or can't. But will you will yourself into doing it? And if we've done it for other things for far less, right? And so with this, the associated kin number that we're in is kin 94 with the plasma Limi connected to the solar plexus chakra. Let's see what it says about the wizard. The wizard is the 14th archetype out of 20, the 14th expression or the dynamic frequency of light that we've labeled and called wizard. Let's look at what it says about the wizard. It states, I am the wizard. Coded by the white wizard, 7 doubled is my number. 7 doubled is my number. Sign of, let's see here. 1 second. Make sure I'm connected here. All right, one moment here. One moment. All right, let me start all over with this. All right, let's go. Let's go. All right, so the wizard is the 14th expression or the 14th archetype. We call this a dynamic frequency of light. And this light speaks the language of light to our chakras. That's how we're connected. And look at what it says. I am the wizard, coded by the white wizard. 7 doubled is my number, the sign of my supermental absorption in the forces of cosmic creation. So this is the same energy that's created the cosmos. Within my crystal sphere is all that can be seen or known. That means I got access to everything that can be seen or known through this energy. Through my supreme receptivity, that's a different kind of receptivity, I leave you the codes of resonant definition that you call time. Suspend all thought and enter with me into the timeless enchantment of my oracle, the wizard's oracle, by which the dimensions are sewn together. My mind is the universe. It's telling you right there, watch this. It's telling you that your mind is not your brain, that your mind is the universe, and that your brain can process those frequencies and get downloads and use the powers of the universe in your body. My body is the world that you see. Anything that can be done in the world can be done by you. My speech is the melodious sound of the natural world. My third eye is the triangulation of body, speech, and mind. I am the giver of magical names. I hold the secret of the lost chord. The music or tones or harmonics or sacred geometry of sound is the music of the spheres. The higher vibrations give you access to higher states of consciousness, the higher vibrations of cosmic law is in the music of the spheres, the tones, the rang and not the bang. To know me is to know the trees, for I am the movement and measure of the natural order, the natural synchronic order that we call the Hu-Nap-Ku, the source of all creation, the movement and measure of everything that exists. Whew. All right, the wizard. So let's talk more about this wizard. The three attributes that we focus on with the wizard is to enchant, receptivity, and timelessness. So every time that we have a new kin, which is daily, we got a holarchic template to help us evolve. What are some additional attributes that we can learn from this archetype? So what makes this powerful, instead of it just being Wednesday hump day, this is enchant day. This is receptivity day. This is timelessness day. This is integrity and heart knowing day. How can you know your heart, and how can your heart know you? Because the heart knows the cosmos. Alignment day. This is divine will day, magician day, shaman, jaguar, and night seer day. And so what can those attributes do to help you accomplish your mission? Well, all you got to do is ask yourself, how can this help me to be more supremely receptive to the appropriate ideas? How can it help me to take great delight in what I already know is a victory for myself? How can timelessness help me? Well, let's get more into it, right? The never-ending evolution of consciousness is your way. The third tone is the electric tone that deals with activating, bonding, and service. So we're talking about activating timelessness, where you keep evolving and there is no time. Let's look deeper into this concept. So we have the affirmation for today by the White Electric Wizard, kin number 94. It's the 94th expression of the creator. And in this expression, it is saying to you to activate in order to enchant. And let me tell you what you need to activate: your power of wisdom and influence, bonding receptivity. Okay, so that means that you got to be receptive to the wisdom and the influence that's going to help you get where you want to be. You'd be surprised the number of people that reject it. I seal the output of timelessness, which is an expression. I'm putting an expression out to the cosmos that there is no time as we know it. Time is now, and we are the evolution of consciousness in motion. But it requires us to have service to others with this kind of power. And I'm guided by the power of endlessness. There's no end to it. Now we read this 3 times before we lock it in. I activate in order to enchant, bonding receptivity. I seal the output of timelessness with the electric tone of service. I am guided by the power of endlessness. One more time to lock it in. I activate in order to enchant, bonding receptivity. I seal the output of timelessness with the electric tone of service. I am guided by the power of endlessness. Ashe, Ashe, and Asheo. So when we activate in timelessness, the timelessness of humanity, what does that really mean? Let's look at this. The timeless in you is aware of life's timelessness and knows that yesterday is but today's memory and tomorrow's is today's dream. It knows that yesterday was but today's memory. This is how we reflect and remember. And tomorrow is today's dream. So you can dream your vision of the future and know that it cometh in the morning, it cometh in the dawning into its reality. But your memory of who you are is so important with what you can do in this body. And most of us are afraid of our memories because we immediately think about memories and we think about the bad memories. We think about the trauma. But when you evolve, you realize I'm not who I used to be. I no longer have the consciousness that I was when that happened to me, or I did something I regret 2 decades ago, 3 decades ago. But what happens is the program shows us that if we go back and try to remember how to fix a problem, that it almost shifts us back into the consciousness that we had when we had the problem. And that's what gets us down. That's what triggers us. It makes it feel like we're reliving the trauma again. But watch this. In reflective memory, I want you to go back into your memory as the observer, as the spiritual part of your beingness. So we have a physical body we call the body temple, and the will governs that. We got the spirit, right? The breath is synonymous that the spirit is alive in the human, right? The breath is the physical attribute of the human that signifies the spirit is intact. And then we have the energetic light part of us that's housed in our chakras, and that gives us an electromagnetic pulse that radiates out frequencies into the ethers. And that we have to shift out of the will and the ego of the physical body and what we feel like things are into the spirit observer of our circumstance so that we can evolve out of it and into a new experience altogether. But we make the mistake and we go back with our feelings. We go back with just the physical experience of the memory, and we get triggered, and it makes us not want to think about those memories. Even to fix them, we don't want to think about them. And so we stay trapped in this state of consciousness, and we can't access timelessness, the unending evolution of consciousness, because of this trigger and that bad memory. How many of y'all want to rid yourself of all the bad memories that you've had in your life that's holding you back from stardom? There are people that are way better than the people that you see, but they just got some blockages. And some of them are listening right now to what we're talking about. There's better athletes, there's better lawyers, there's better doctors, there's better this, there's better that, but they are blocked right now, and they know they have more potential than they're displaying, but they don't know how to get untrapped and out of where they are so they can create a better life. Family, I have a serious option to help you do that like never before, right? But you have to make a decision. Evolving is your number one priority. Otherwise, you're going to get distracted by everything that's in the tabloids. And it's going to remind you of your triggers, and then you're going to be back to block one. I'm telling you. All right, let's look at what it says. Timelessness is the transcendence of time experientially. That means you're going beyond time. Transcendence, right, is going beyond the concept of time, and you're experiencing what that is. You're going beyond the evolution of consciousness. Now, in artificial time, we tell time with a what? A clock and a calendar. But that's an artificial time program. It has an expiration date. Now you got to ask yourself, those of you that are listening, do you want to work hard and expire, or do you want to allow you to be who you are and inspire yourself and others to fulfill their purpose on this planet and evolve? And allow it to be a joy to see the different states of consciousness that you can experience in the body versus the hell that you think you're catching. You know, those hells that you think you're catching are gems, because it's reflecting back to you There's something wrong with your consciousness, and you can change that consciousness and have a different experience if you really, really, really want it. But many of us don't want it bad enough. It says eternity is the state we experience where we are aware of the passage of time. This is also known as deathlessness, but feel untouched by it. Timelessness, on the other hand, is the transcendence of time. There is no awareness of time at all as we know it. Because the thing that becomes absolute is evolution. That's all the cosmos does. It continues to evolve into more and more galaxies. Hundreds of billions of galaxies. Looks like your body when you put it out on the map. So there is no awareness of time at all, for there is no differentiation and no change, and hence no change. So when you can't really differentiate, okay, what false time is and what the evolution of consciousness is, then there will be the illusion of change, but hence no change. And that's going to create frustration because you actually think because you get knowledge that you're going to advance, and you should. True knowledge is measured with attainment. But there's something that's breaking down. The knowledge is not allowing us to access higher states of our own consciousness so we can govern our mental. We don't need a governmental agency to govern our mental. We can govern that ourselves and practice self-governance. And we can all get together right now and meditate this hurricane away, unless it's God's will, unless it's the karmic will of different places on the globe to destroy. We don't know. My 6-year-old was asking, can we make a tornado go away? And I said, it depends on the state of consciousness that you're operating from. He said, I want to be at that state of consciousness then, Papa. And I said, so shall you be. I said, why don't you dream about it tonight? Why don't you dream about being able to be so powerful with your mind that you could get together with a group of people and see, is this a karmic debt that these different locations have to pay on the earth? And if it's not, that we get together and meditate and make it go away. Disempower it with our mind, because it's happening in consciousness. And what controls consciousness? The power of the essence of God and the power of God that's in the human consciousness and the human psyche on the planet. Just hadn't realized in its memory that it has this power yet. But when this human psyche realizes it, it's a new consciousness that's going to wrap around the earth called the noosphere. And that's going to create telepathy as the norm. This is the unending, never-ending evolution of consciousness that we seek to experience. Timelessness is the transcendence of time. You got to go beyond time as you know it to evolve. Because when you evolve consciousness, there's a state of awareness and a beingness that allows you to have power over your current circumstances. And your current circumstances are the best thing that's happening to you right now, because it's reflecting back to you. This is the state of consciousness that you're reflecting. And if you can move into that degree of self-acceptance, let me tell you something. You not only can you change the circumstances, but you can change the whole earth as it relates to your experience on it. And if it's available, and you discover that in this experience we call life, why not enjoy that process? I want you to think of some questions about how to activate the never-ending evolution of consciousness in your experience. What will it take to do that, and what will it do for your life? Let me tell you, you can't shrink into greatness, but you can evolve into greatness, right? You can't live in lack and prosper, but you can evolve from lack and prosper. You see? And even with your health, you can evolve your consciousness, and in the plasma in your body, you can come up with the solution in your mind and the decision that this is what you're going to do. And the plasma, the mathematical code in the plasma is going to tell the left hemisphere and the right hemisphere and all the chakras that we are about to heal this body. And we're going to heal it right now. And then the heart begins to pump the blood with the new plasma and changes every cell in the body about 80 to 90 days. It may be longer. You know, I don't know the exact clinical terms, but I do know there's a point where at some point you have every new cell is new in your body. Every cell is new in your body with this new consciousness from this plasma. And that's how we can change our body and make it align with our mind. That's how we can change our finances and align with our mind. That's how we can change our relationships, because we become the relationship that we seek to attract. We become what we want to attract. And that's how we magnetize it. All right. So while we're looking at the questions, just a couple levels in our school we'd like to share with you. Level 1 is the membership, and the membership is loaded. Okay. Become an I Am member, Infinite Aligned Memory. That's a nice title. I am is God, right? So a lot of people don't know this, but every Sunday we do a session for our members. Now, we've been opening it up to the public, but it is a class that we do every heptad a week to help people practice evolving with these concepts. And you definitely need to be a part of it, because I think we got 2 more sessions before we now close it out, and it's just for members only. All right. So we still will have this session for people who are non-members. We're going to have members only, because we're about to get laser beam focused on how to evolve in the new time, in the telepathic age. So get on the membership. That's level 1. After you get in the membership, there's a section in there called Law of Time Basics. It got some new things we just added: integrating the new time, the power of the 13 moons, the importance of the law of time, remembering the hollow mind perceiver, and even more. How we corrected the error of time in year 441 actually is this year, Gregorian year, right? But our year system is different. Okay. So you don't want, and some of the jargon, like what we use, heptads and radioplasmas, is also in the Law of Time Basics. So you want to be a part of that. I recommend level 3 of your engagement, making evolution your top priority, is to join in on our New Kin orientation. Okay. New Kin orientation, NKO. All right. So you definitely want to take a place in that, because we're going to orient you to your kin number, the expression you incarnated on, and show you how to use it to help you evolve. Okay. And then courses. We have courses. This solar cycle this year is phenomenal. And we have several courses. So some of you are going to take courses to get specified knowledge and real specific about how to do certain things that's going to help speed up your process in terms of how you evolve circumstances, etc. All right. So we have online courses available. And one of the hottest things that we have out here is the one-on-one synchronicity coaching. So this is the coaching that we've had over 1,000 one-on-one sessions with since 2020. So I'm amazed by this. A lot of people swear by the coaching because they're really able to see their blockages and they're able to move past them. And so this is something level 5 people can look into. And so I recommend that you start somewhere tonight. Get started with the membership. Tap in. Start getting the knowledge. You're going to get inspired. And then you're going to come to the new kin orientation, right? Then you're going to say, hey, let me see what this thing is. They're talking about amplify your purpose on Sundays. Let me see what I can get out of that class. And then you're going to be able to see, look, these are the things I want to do based on this is what I want to learn. And then we create a path for you so that you can evolve constantly. So this Sunday, we're going to be talking about your life reflects your consciousness, your current state of consciousness. Okay. All right. Testimonials, questions. I think I saw a question earlier. All right. So what are some daily activities or techniques that can activate timelessness? Okay. Well, meditation is a good way, but meditating with a focus. Meditation is the opposite of thinking. So it's hard to focus when you're meditating, but right before you focus, right before you go into meditation, you set an intention, okay, for your spirit to help you move into the never-ending, right, evolution of consciousness. And also, something else, there's nothing more powerful than a made-up mind. A decision. Like so most people, they don't make true decisions. They say, I kind of want to evolve, but it might be a lot of work right now, and I don't know if I'm ready to do a lot of work. You're going to do a lot of work anyway and have far less consciousness to work with. So it's better if you're going to have to work anyway and you're getting pushed, that you bring all your faculties online. Bring all your faculties to the fight. Bring all your faculties to the struggle. And then it ain't going to be no struggle no more. Right? Also, following the 13 moon calendar, the Zolkin calendar, the 260-day spiritual calendar, and ultimately learn how to follow the hollow mind perceiver, the synchronic, the 441 synchronic codes. It's so powerful. That's what you want to do. And that's what locks it in. That you just gonna keep on evolving. It's like it's on automatic, like the Fibonacci sequence. It just keeps growing. It's out of your control after a certain point. All right. So thank you, Ambrosia, for asking that question. And so if there's other questions, you definitely could email me. I highly recommend you do, but get started somewhere. Get started somewhere. Don't just be like a leaf dangling in the air. It's time for you to evolve. It's time for you to start living the life you deserve right now, and not based on no program or pie in the sky, based on the highest expression of you as the power of God and the essence of God in you, to be more, know more, do more, and have more. That's what this is about. And that I don't know any other place that's trying to show you how to access that power truly right now, this way, than a lot of what we're talking about. And some of you, this has been what you've been looking for your whole life, as I was. So now it's time to capture it. All right, so definitely email me at nebtaharka@synchronistichuman.com. I trust that you've gotten a lot of mileage out of this information today, right? I trust you have. And so I definitely appreciate you joining us. And remember, in Lakesh, I am another you. Alakin, you are another me. Hotep, Hetepu, and Namaste. And remember, evolution is the solution. Don't you ever forget it. This is going to conclude our session. We'll see you in the New Kin orientation tomorrow and on the Amplify Your Purpose next Sunday. And this is going to conclude our session. Peace.
It's just different. I am the world changer, coded by the blue storm. My number is 19, the power of all number. I am the master alchemist, the force behind the philosopher's stone. Skilled at the art of transmutation. I am the catalytic transformer of world consciousness and planetary living. I oversee the changes of the weather. I am the thunder that shatters your world systems. I am the transport of clouds filled with lightning to illuminate the truth behind your illusions. I am the bringer of the drenching rains that purifies, It was I who caused the triple Aztec monuments of the Avatar archetype to appear in the ancient temple grounds. I oversee the morning and the evening stars. I behold the creator of the fifth sun, the present world. Sent forth am I to dwell among you, calling forth the sixth sun. For the great regeneration of the world's soul, to know me is to know your own power of self-generation. To know me is to know your own power of self-generation. Self-generation is power. I am the transport of clouds filled with lightning to illuminate the truth behind your illusions. I am the bringer of the drenching rains that purifies.